If you're a fan of Squid Game, Season 2 is packed with surprises, secrets, and unexpected connections to the first season. Today, we're going to uncover those Easter eggs you might have missed and explore all the references between both seasons. If you're ready for the analysis, let's get started. Let's begin with one of the first surprises of Season 2. When Gi-Hun is playing the doll game, he notices that the locator his friends put on him has been removed. This completely terrifies him, and he says the phrase, "I'm finished." Does this sound familiar? This is a direct nod to the first season. In Season 1, Episode 3, Gi-Hun was also in a life-or-death situation during the cookie game. When he realizes how difficult his umbrella shape is, he also says, "I'm finished." The camera movement is identical, making this moment a visual reference to that intense point in Season 1. A key detail in Season 2 is Gi-Hun's alliance with the Lone Shark, a character who appeared in the first season when he beat up Gi-Hun for not paying his debts. In Season 2, we learn that Gi-Hun sought him out after the events of the first season to settle his debt. Not only that, but he hires him as an ally to take on the organizers of the game. This is a great example of how events from the first season continue to affect the current storyline. A recurring theme in both seasons is the sacrifices and bonds that form between the players. In Season 2, we see a group of men forced to compete against each other, and one of them lets themselves lose so that their partner can survive. This moment is reminiscent of the sacrifice made by the young friend of Sae-byeok during the marble game in Season 1, where she lets herself lose so Sae-byeok can survive. It's fascinating how, despite the new characters and games, loyalty and sacrifice continue to be central themes in Squid Game. One of the biggest mysteries for fans is the frontman's involvement in the games of Season 2. At first, many of us were shocked to see him participating, but if we look back at Season 1, we understand why. In the Season 1 finale, the frontman asks Il-nam, the creator of the games, why he wanted to participate in the games, to which Il-nam replies, "The best way to enjoy these games is to play them yourself." These words resonate deeply with the frontman, who decides to join the games once again, years after creating them. This pivotal moment in Season 2 shows how the games have an almost addictive power for those involved, regardless of their role. In Season 2, Gi-Hun makes a gesture that will remind many fans of Sang-woo's actions in Season 1. He stands up to demand that the players should have the right to vote according to the third clause of the contract. This scene is directly connected to Season 1, when Sang-woo also asks the players to have the option to vote to leave the game. The way Gi-Hun stands, his posture, and the camera movement are practically identical, creating a beautiful parallel between these two key moments from both seasons. A detail that might go unnoticed but is worth highlighting happens when, in Season 2, the trans player saves Gi-Hun during the doll game. This moment is very similar to when Ali saved Gi-Hun in the first season. Both moments symbolize friendship and sacrifice amid the brutality of the games, which is a key theme in Squid Game. An interesting moment in Season 2 occurs when Thanos tells player number 1 to go back home and raise his own kids. This comment triggers a fury in number 1, who is actually the frontman, and he reacts violently. This moment carries significant weight when we consider the frontman's past. We know that his wife died while pregnant, which likely leaves him with a deep emotional scar. This detail gives more depth to his reaction and behavior throughout the season. Towards the end of Season 2, we discover that the boat captain is a traitor. This is a major twist, as the captain had been sabotaging the police officer's plans from the start. This becomes even more significant when we remember that in the first season, the police officer had spent 2 years navigating the sea with the captain in search of the Squid Game island. The fact that the captain had been working for the game organizers all along adds another layer of intrigue to the story. In Season 2, during the Carousel game, a very popular children's song in South Korea plays, titled Ronda Ronda. This song is especially significant because it creates a brutal contrast between the innocence of the melody and the violence of the game the players are involved in. This contrast is one of the most striking features of Squid Game, and here, the music plays a key role in conveying that emotional shock. Finally, during the final shootout in Season 2, player 388 freezes in fear. This reaction isn't new, as in the first season, Gi-Hun also freezes while hiding from the guards. This detail suggests that player 388 might have military trauma or perhaps lied about his military training. His paralysis in the face of weapons reinforces the vulnerability of the players in these deadly games. Let's start with the bonus tracks. In Chapter 7, during Gi-Hun's revolution, we can notice a pretty funny production mistake here during the shootout. If we look to the right side, we'll see a cameraman from the production. It's barely noticeable, so I'll pause the image so you can see it. Yes, it's a cameraman. When Gi-Hun defeats the recruiter in the Russian roulette game, he makes a very particular expression. If we pause the image and divide it, we'll notice that the actor Gong-yoo is showing two faces at the same time. On one side, we have an expression of arrogance, the same one he's kept throughout the entire series. He's always been a confident person. Look at his mouth, he has an obvious smile, and there's even a red light illuminating him, as if he were a demon. It's the character we've seen throughout the season. But if we look at the other side, we'll notice the exact opposite. He has an expression of fear and helplessness. His smile is absent here. There's no creepy red light on him. It's just a simple light that makes him look pale and human. He even has bloodstains, symbolizing a wound. He's lost and will die. He knows it. He's just a man. Some might think this is just a coincidence, but considering Gong-yoo is a seasoned actor, this can't be mere chance. At the beginning of the doll game, everyone looks at Gi-Hun as if he were crazy, but Thanos makes an interesting comment. He says that Gi-Hun looks like his father, since the old man used to say crazy things when he'd come home drunk. According to Thanos, his father said they implanted a device in his head. This could be a hint that Thanos' father participated in the Squid Game many years ago. Let's remember that, according to the records, the game started decades ago. Also, in Chapter 1, when Gi-Hun returns to the city, he finds out he's being watched with a chip implanted behind his ear. He removed it at the beginning of the season. This chip could be the same one mentioned by Thanos' father. The Squid Game has clear references to Breaking Bad, one of the best shows in history. If we look at the season finale, the scene where they kill Gi-Hun's friend is identical to the iconic death of Ghost Freak's friend. Look closely. In that scene, Salamanca shot Gus's friend out of nowhere. In response, Gus lunged at the killer, but he was stopped, and in the end, they held his face on the floor so he could see his dead friend. It's exactly what we saw with Gi-Hun. When they kill his friend, he lunges at the front man, but the pink guards subdue him and leave him face to face with his friend. When the elderly woman meets player 222, she immediately notices that she is pregnant. This is because, according to her, she helped many children be born in her neighborhood. She also tells us that the pregnant woman is in her final months. All this context is a clear prediction that she will give birth in Season 3, and the elderly woman will assist in the process. I can't be sure, but it's likely that the baby will be very relevant to the story. And continuing with the same theme, in several scenes, Number 1 is shown to be concerned about the pregnant player. We even have a scene where he gives her his carton of milk, claiming that he doesn't want it since he's lactose intolerant. These details are no coincidence. Let's remember that the frontman had a wife in the past and she died while pregnant. The scene suggests that somehow he remembers his wife thanks to this girl. This has sparked fan theories. Many of us have even come to think that she will be key to the frontman's ending. Some even believe that he might leave the darkness for this baby. Many claim that player 125 is a VIP infiltrated in the games and that he even appeared in the first season. But what's the evidence? Number 125 is played by actor David Lee, and if we look at the actors from the first season, we'll notice that VIP3 is also played by a David Lee. This is true, it's the one with the deer mask. The theory is great, and while I would love for it to be true, the reality is that it isn't. The confusion arises because the names of both actors are the same, but they are different people. MDB is the largest movie database in the world. If we check the actors here, we'll notice that they have two different profiles. The David Lee from Season 2 is a young Korean actor who has had many roles in his country. The other David Lee is an American actor who has had very few roles in his life. Also, to be more direct, here's a closer photo of VIP3. Look at his neck. He has clear wrinkles of a mature man. The Korean actor, on the other hand, is much younger. Now, listen to the voices of both actors yourselves.
You to bet so much on number 69.
근데 왜 너는 쟤네랑 같이 해? 나랑은 왜 하자고 했어?
The American actor has a much deeper voice, and it doesn't resemble the voice of the Korean actor at all. I would have loved for this theory to be true. I think it's a legendary idea to see a VIP in the games, but in this case, the theory falls apart on its own. And that's a wrap for our analysis of all the curiosities, Easter eggs, and connections between Squid Game Season 1 and Season 2. As always, if you liked the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay updated on all our upcoming content. Also, leave us a comment telling us what other Easter eggs you found or what topics you'd like us to cover in future videos. See you in the next video.